Good day and welcome to Fairfield County Talk Radio, FairfieldCountyTalkRadio.com. I'm John Marino. Glad to be with you here. We are produced by Sharc Creative and made possible by people like Entergy, the Indian Point Energy Center, Tough Lawn Service, Fairfield County Tick Control, MDM Sanitation, and by Good Morning of Wilton. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Sharc Creative. Follow us on Instagram at Sharc Creative for community highlights and special feature interviews. Visit us also at Fairfield County Talk Radio on Facebook. We are joined here now by Angela Simonello. Angela Simonello, Chief Development Officer at Inspirica in Stamford. Inspirica providing homeless and all kinds of services for those in need around the Stamford, Norwalk area and throughout Fairfield County. Inspirica has a very unique event coming up. It begins this evening. It runs through the weekend. Today, by the way, is a Thursday, runs through this Sunday. It's Thursday, May 14th, running through this Sunday, May 17th. It's a virtual event. The Inspirica Virtual Spring Soiree. We're all going to get together for that. Angela Simonello, first of all, thank you for being part of Fairfield County Talk Radio. And tell us all about Inspirica and the inspiring work you do.
Oh, well, thank you, John. I'm really glad to be a part of this broadcast today. So Inspirica has been around for over 130 years. And they've always been a provider of services for those less fortunate. So we are the largest services provider for the homeless in Fairfield County. So that includes residential facilities, both emergency and transitional housing, permanent supportive housing, including for those living with mental illness or HIV/AIDS. We do have an emergency women's shelter, and we have deeply affordable housing for those families, working families, that want to in the community but afford to do so, because Stamford's a very expensive community to live in. So we take care of about over 1,000 people every year, including 250 children. And in addition to that, we have wraparound services. So we partner with child care centers. We have a youth center for after-school programming for school-age children. We have a parent children's program. We have job vocation, job placement. We have case managers that do a plethora of things to make sure that we are addressing the whole family, the whole individual, with the intent to break the cycle of homelessness.
Plethora, a word I hardly hear used anymore, yet it applies here. You've got a lot on your plate. Plethora, in this instance especially here, means a lot on your plate. So do you work in conjunction? I look at you guys as kind of the West Help, the West Fair of Fairfield County, as we talk about West Help, West Fair, and groups like that over in Westchester too. Very much connected. Lots of us. We are connected here on a Zoom call. A lot of connectivity between the two counties and what you guys do both ways.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
About the partnership or the
way everybody kind of works together around this region. For example, too, do you work in conjunction? I would assume that to some extent you would, with, say, New Haven County or services in Litchfield County, counties close by to you in Connecticut as well.
Yeah, Connecticut does a really good job connecting organizations as well as home shelters, homeless providers, homeless service providers. So there's something called the Connecticut Action Network that it is one of those collaborative groups. There's Opening Doors Fairfield. That's another collaborative group. The city of Stamford is very much involved, particularly with the COVID-19 outbreak, of making sure that we're collaboratively working together. So there's certainly a lot of that. Absolutely.
So now we got to talk
make sure
about
we're caring for our community.
Now we have to talk about funding and the money you needed before COVID-19. How much more I'm sure you need now. That may be a trick question, but we all have to deal with trick questions like this nowadays. Do you feel like you're in a battle with those around you, with other groups in Fairfield, with other groups in New Haven, in Litchfield, and throughout the state of Connecticut?
No, not during COVID-19. No. I mean, of course, we're all fundraising for our own particular missions, but our mission is much aligned. And again, I think between Opening Doors, Connecticut Action Network, and the city of Stamford, they really allowed us to continue to work collaboratively to move people that might be high risk to area hotels, or how we can help each other with security and making sure that all of our clients are protected. Do we see them as competition? No, I wouldn't say that. I would say right now we're working as a team to make sure that we're addressing what anybody who defines themselves as homeless or on the cusp of homelessness or a working family that's having issues with their homes, just making sure that they have what they need.
How homeless are we around the area, around the county, around Fairfield? We see stories all throughout the tri-state area. The subways get emptied out every night in New York City now. How bad of a problem in Fairfield is this? And I look at it from a standpoint, too, that we could have a misconception around the country that people look at Fairfield County as one of the more affluent counties in this country and in this region here. And yet homelessness, being hungry, affects every area.
Sure, it absolutely does. Yeah, I mean, across the country, 1 in 5 live in poverty or near poverty. That's
1 in 5. How do we exist as a country like this?
That's 65 million people, right? And, governments are pressed upon too. So sometimes they're cutting funding to these social services, and that's why support becomes so vital for us to continue our mission. But talking about it from a microcosm, the Stamford Norwalk area is one of the most expensive to live. Housing across the state is about 8% of that population is in the Stamford Greenwich area. So that's a significant amount of people that are looking for our services. Unfortunately, we expect that number to increase with COVID, the economic downturn, and there's certainly been a lot of conversations about youth homelessness, which is on the rise. And when I say youth, I mean 18 to 24. So, we do expect that number to go up, but we're very thankful that we're here and able to provide those services that they need.
And you talk about Stamford, Norwalk, the area, Bridgeport too, which is part of Fairfield County as well. And then you get into New Haven County and areas there. You go up to Hartford, Waterbury, cities like that. This is a big problem across this state.
Absolutely.
An affluent state overall.
Absolutely. I mean, the same, you talked about Westchester earlier. The same thing could be said about Westchester. I mean,
without a doubt. And New York City. We're all connected
right.
in this same region, no doubt.
That's right. And it's, so you would hope that, the counties, the cities you live in would put more dollars into those social services, because there is something to be said about breaking that cycle. These children are so behind the 8 ball that come from homeless families. And although their parents might be doing everything they possibly can to get back on their feet, they're behind, and we're able to provide those services both from birth all the way through school age years with services to help them and their parents. So we're very much about just housing, and the other, we don't do that there. So, I think, John, what's simple to understand is that what they might think is the face of homelessness or what a shelter might look like isn't really the case anymore. I mean, I know for me, I always pictured that older man on the corner in New York City holding the cardboard sign. And if he goes into a shelter, it's a YMCA kind of cots and communal living. That's not the case in Spirit. I mean, we put families in individual suites. If they have a bigger family, they have adjoining rooms. So, the only place that we actually had congregate living, meaning 15 cots in a room, was our women's emergency shelter. And that's since not been the case because of social distancing. So we're constantly pivoting in response to COVID-19. But I think our organization, one of the few in the country that has these wraparound services as well as housing, has done a phenomenal job of being proactive, not reactive.
Now, you work with a lot of families who live bunched together, obviously, in poverty-stricken areas, and this is a hotbed for COVID when you have 11 people cramped into an apartment in, I'm not a math major, so when you're talking square footage, you can throw any number you want at me. Let's just say, for example, in a cramped area, a cramped space, you put so many people in so close together, during COVID, and you are asking for trouble. Unfortunately, many of these people cannot avoid this trouble because of their living conditions and living situations.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, which is why we're so thankful that we didn't have that set up even before all this started. Now, does that mean that we'll go back to the emergency shelter the way it was set up with, more than the 5 that they're suggesting, 5 people in a room at any one time? No, of course not. Of course not. So, we're renovating, we're working, we're moving, we're making sure that everybody's staying safe. And we've been very lucky in not having instances that would jeopardize others. And if there was any chance of that, we were on it very quickly so that we didn't experience that.
And we throw up numbers like 11 cramped in a room. We don't make this stuff up. This is what we see, stories we see, documented cases. This is how it is in some places, some instances. 11 might be on the downside of how many people cramp into a room, a house, a residence altogether. And we know about that.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly can't comment on that because we don't do that, but
no,
yeah,
you don't do that, but situations
sure
that people find themselves in.
Sure.
Somebody might say, John, you're exaggerating. 11 people stuffed into an apartment. No, 11 and more in many instances in apartments around more impoverished areas around this tri-state area and around the country too. And that leads to more COVID infections.
Of course. And, the more expensive the area, the more you'll find people congregating together because they have to offset the rent, and rents are very high, which is why we went into deeply affordable housing so that we could afford those working families that want to stay in our community, the appropriate rent for them in order for them to do so.
And a lot of extended families living together in these situations too. Husband, wife, kids, grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, etc.
Sure.
They make do as they can make do.
Of course. Don't we all, John?
We all try to do that, right, in our own way. We are Fairfield County Talk Radio, FairfieldCountyTalkRadio.com, joined by Angela Simonello, Chief Development Officer at Inspirica, the inspiring group Inspirica in Stamford, and they provide homeless and other services, so many social services in the Stamford, Norwalk area and around Fairfield County, and no matter where you might be in Connecticut, Inspirica can help you. They try to do whatever they can for everybody they possibly can around the Nutmeg Estate of Connecticut, and they also help out around the tri-state area as well, too. We are brought to you here at Fairfield County Talk Radio, FairfieldCountyTalkRadio.com, by people like we are produced, first of all, by Sharc, S-H-A-R-C, Sharc Creative, and made possible by Entergy, the Indian Point Energy Center, also by Earthscapes, Landscape Management and Development, by Apollo X, Pest Control, the Wilton Chamber of Commerce, and by Dagny's, the Real Estate Boutique of Fairfield County. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Sharc Creative. Follow us on Instagram at Sharc Creative for community highlights and special feature interviews. Visit us at Fairfield County Talk Radio on Facebook. Angela Simonello, Chief Development Officer at Inspirica in Stamford. How do you get funding? Break down the funding spreadsheet for us at Inspirica, if you would. How do you get money, and how is that money appropriated?
So there's a variety of sources. We obviously have events. We do direct mail like everybody else. We are very lucky to have a large cadre of volunteers. We're certainly online everywhere as well. So it's a multitude of ways. Foundations have been very supportive, particularly during this time through grant processes where, we've received funds both for COVID emergency funding. But these people have been very loyal to us to begin with. So we're very thankful. The community funds around Connecticut have been amazing. And individuals, John, I hear people lament about having to quarantine, and I get it. I'm a very social person. It's tough. There's no doubt about it. I see good every day. I really do. I see people do good every day, and it's nice that you can take something with so much angst to it and see so much good come out of it too. So how do we get our funding? Through generous individuals, corporations, foundations.
And grants too. I expect that you write grants. You spend a lot of time doing that.
Of course.
But how do you structure a grant? How do you structure it in a way so that he or she on the other end is sympathetic to what you are asking for and says, I have to do something for Inspirica?
Well, I think it would depend on what we're applying for and what program I'm talking about. But it's almost irrelevant. John, I think it's because what we do is so important, and you don't have to be homeless or have been homeless to empathize with that. I think it's a mission that most everyone can get behind. It almost makes us kind of pause for a second and be thankful for what we have, and realize that if we have the ability to do good for others, that we should. It's just like the COVID, right? We're going to get through this, but we need to do it together.
Right. I had to explain to a friend in the Hamptons last night who's really bucking the trend here, she wants to get out of the house, I said. And she says, well, you got your own home in the Bronx there, and you can, lay back and do whatever you want. That's not the point. She's got a pretty nice place in Southampton, too, to begin with. So I don't think she should be complaining. You get the idea. Maybe not like most people out there, but in a way so that she should be comfortable, let's put it. And I told her, you have to understand, we have to ride this out. So there you are on your couch. Here I am in my studio here, and we make the best of it. I have my nice beach chair behind me here. I thought about pulling up the beach chair and doing a show in the beach chair. We make things work with what we have right now. That's what we can do. It's what we have to do. So and that's how this has to be done.
I was talking to a friend of mine the other night and saying, it's weird. This is gala season. I would normally be at galas during the week, and I'm definitely seeing a shift to the virtual environment. We ourselves are kicking off our own virtual events on Thursday night.
Right, and we're going to get to that right now, matter of fact. We're going to talk now with Angela Simonello, Chief Development Officer at Inspirica in Stamford, and they work all throughout Fairfield County. Their event, which begins this evening, Thursday, May 14th, running through this Sunday, May 17th. That is their virtual spring soiree. May I have this dance? There you go, right? Okay, we'll have a virtual dance here, right? Whatever works, right? And this is what people have to get used to now, doing this virtually, doing this online. How do we do this online with you?
So with us, you would go to Spring Soiree. Soiree is
S-O-I-R-E-E, correct?
.com, and that'll bring you to our site, which has a lot of really interesting auction items, the ability to support our programs. There'll be videos from our frontline workers and our staff who we're honoring this year. We're honoring because 60% of our staff is still coming into work every day. We're a 24/7 operation with 12 residential facilities. So a lot of our frontline workers are there at a risk to themselves and their families. So,
and I can attest to that. I spoke to people in your office earlier today, as a matter of fact, and they're all at work. Everybody's there doing what they have to do. And to do what you do, I think you kind of have to be there. That you cannot do virtually from the comfort of your own living room. You've got to get out there, be on the streets, and make things happen.
That's right. That's right. So this will be interesting, but it is a 4-day event. It kicks off tonight at 6:00 on our Facebook page, Inspirica CT, and it'll run for 4 days with the auction and videos, and just a lot of exciting stuff. It'll be good. I really encourage everybody to register. It is free. It won't cost you anything to come onto our site. I encourage everybody to come on our Facebook page at 6:00 and hear more about what we do. We promise it's a short program, 12 and a half minutes of your time. But I think everybody who joins us will find that it's of value to learn about us, because we do really good work for our community.
Now, people hear the word auction and they wonder, what are you auctioning off, Angela? Might you have a list or an idea of what might be auctioned off at the virtual soiree, the spring soiree for Inspirica?
So we have a lot of golf stuff, a lot of foursomes and things like that. Right. We also have quarantine. Yes. And that's one of the things that is opening back up, because they are able to social distance. So we also have virtual golf lessons. So we're trying to do things so that while people are quarantining. There's a behind the scenes on NBC Sports. You can go on site with Mad Dog, the sportscaster. So that's
with Chris Russo from Sirius XM. right? Mad Dog
Yes,
Radio, Sirius
yes,
XM.
yes,
Used to be on the Fan for many years. During my years at CBS
yes,
Radio, Chris was on the other side over at
sure.
Fan. So
Yes.
there you
Well,
go.
that
You
was
have
when he
that
was
too.
with somebody else who we won't name, right?
No, not here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Right.
All right.
So we also have a professional organizer for 3 hours in your home. We have landscape design. We have Donovan Mitchell, who's number 45 on the Utah
Yeah.
Jazz. Right.
Okay.
We have a
Donovan
sign.
Mitchell from the Utah Jazz, who grew up in Elmsford and went
That's
to
right.
high school in Greenwich, and whose father, Donovan Mitchell Sr., is a big front office guy for the Mets, played in their system, and was a high school star back in the late 80s, early 90s at Alexander Hamilton High School in Elmsford in
Wow.
Westchester. We got the whole local connection with the Mitchells here. Matter of fact, Donovan Mitchell Sr. is the Donovan's father that you'll be working with this evening. His father, Donovan Sr., is the godchild of a former WFAS colleague of mine who worked on News 12 Connecticut, too, for a long time, Yolanda Benton. So everybody's all interconnected here, and her ex-husband,
Wow.
the godfather of Donovan Sr., James Robinson, for many years has run the Greenberg Youth Center in Greenberg, next to White Plains in Westchester, and is a high school basketball boys official out there on the court. See him out there from time to time.
Wait a minute, the Theodore Young Community Center, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I believe it's that center in Greenberg, the one in Greenberg, actually. The one in Greenberg. Greenberg Community Center is what it is. Yep, in Greenberg. So everybody's all connected here between Fairfield and Westchester in one way and another.
That's true. So
Yeah,
Donovan
so we're all
was
working
very
together.
generous in giving us a signed jersey, a signed card, a signed basketball. It's all custom framed based on the winner's specs. Not even that we framed it for you, but rather you decide with the framer. So that's exciting. And then an interior designer and a portrait, a photography package. And then there's even a package from an HBO filmmaker who is offering to film your family. So you have your own kind of 2 or 3 minute family video.
Right.
Well, he'll come out and take a half a day and work with you. Yeah. So
how are you able to get all of these people together at Inspirica? That is inspiring.
I think it's all about.
It should be quite an event, no doubt about that.
Relationships. John, you put somebody in front of me, and I'm going to make friends.
I have no doubt about that. So you are, without a doubt, like you said, very outgoing and very extroverted. And to do what you do, you have to be that. You have to make those connections to help bring people in, to help in, especially here in this instance, really a good cause. So you've done a great job putting so much together. Tell us again, give us all the info we need, the website to log on to, the Facebook page, and the phone number of Inspirica in Stamford as well.
Yes. So go on to springsoiree.givesmart.com to register.
One more time, Spring Soiree. What's the rest of it?
Soiree. Soiree is spelled SOIREE. So springsoiree.givesmart.com. You can also go through our website, which is inspiricact.org. So INSPIRICACT.org. Or you can call 203-388-0100, which is our main line. And we hope to see you there. And then visit us on Facebook, Inspirica CT, on Facebook tonight at 6 o'clock for our kickoff.
All right, and that is this evening, May 14th. For anyone who would like to help Inspirica financially, what can one do?
Oh, there's a whole lot you can do. So you can join our event, or you can go to inspiricact.org and donate to our website. We love our volunteers once we can get that going again. But for now, what we need is we really need support. We need.
Now, this might be putting you on the spot. Do you have future events lined up based upon what's happening with our lockdown? We understand that you may have had to move some things around. And what's on the calendar that might be coming up or is definitely locked in right now beyond this weekend?
Well, so in October, we have a walkathon. So we'll see how that goes. At Thanksgiving, we do a Thanksgiving drive. Last year, we gave 800 full meals out to the community and our clients. And then at Christmas, we have a holiday gift drive where we work with 20 some odd non-for-profits getting the children they care for, their lists. So each child gets to pick a personalized gift as well as an educational gift. And last year we gave away somewhere close to 6,000 gifts, personalized gifts to kids. So all of that is coming up. But what that will look like, we don't know. But we
socially distanced walk in October, maybe 6 feet apart.
We might ask you to walk around your
neighborhood. Whatever works, right?
We'll see.
What we have to do, right?
We'll see, yeah.
All right. Special thanks to you. The event, by the way, is Inspirica's Spring Soiree, the virtual Spring Soiree beginning this evening, 6 p.m., Thursday, May 14th, 2020, running right through. What are the hours each day? 6 p.m. every evening, Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well?
So it goes from 6 p.m. tonight all the way through till 8 p.m. on Sunday. So
straight through. Straight through. Rolling straight through. Yeah, with everything you have to auction off there, you got to do it straight through. You won't get everything done if you do, say, 6 to midnight, 4 days in a row. You need all that extra time straight through. So log on anytime beginning 6 p.m. tonight, right through. This is Sunday evening. What time Sunday evening is the cutoff point?
Anytime. Midnight? 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on Sunday night. Okay, 8 p.m. on Sunday, May 17th. Angela Simonello. She is the Chief Development Officer at Inspirica in Stamford, providing homeless and so many other social services to the Stamford and Norwalk communities and all around Fairfield County. And they help out all through the state of Connecticut and around the tri-state area where needed as well, too. All you got to do is contact Inspirica over in Stamford. Angela, all the best with this evening's and this weekend's virtual Spring Soiree 2020 begins again online at 6 p.m. tonight. Angela, thank you. All the best to you and good luck with the event this weekend.
Thank you, John.
It's been a pleasure. No doubt about that. You too. Stay safe, you and yours. I'm John Marino, and we are produced by Sharc Creative here at Fairfield County Talk Radio, FairfieldCountyTalkRadio.com. And we are brought to you by many of our good friends around the area, like Entergy, the Indian Point Energy Center, Tough Lawn Service, Fairfield County Tick Control, MDM Sanitation, Good Morning Wilton also too, and Earthscapes Landscape Management and Development. Also by the Wilton Chamber of Commerce, Gagny's, the real estate boutique of Fairfield County, and by Apollo X Pest Control. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Sharc Creative. Follow us on Instagram at Sharc Creative for community highlights as well and special feature interviews. Visit us at Fairfield County Talk Radio on Facebook. I'm John Marino. We are Fairfield County Talk Radio, FairfieldCountyTalkRadio.com. We thank you for being with us here today, and go check out Angela Inspirica and their virtual Spring Soiree 2020. Go do it right now.